let's do a recap. This is the first time I made the salmonella joke about salmonella.
Sam.
Oh.
Al.
No. Oh.
Nilla.
Like when he was talking about the dogs with the smushed up faces, and he's like, oh.
We're drinking energy drinks. It's been a long day. Don't ask me any questions. My brain is baked. All right, so here we are. Banned and controversial foods.
Kinder eggs.
Kinder Eggs is a good one. It's gonna be maggot, probably maggots, probably maggot cheese.
Oh yeah, the cheese with the maggots in it.
That's gotta be one. I know that's been banned. And then that fruit that opens up and it makes people sick, or it smells real bad.
Durian?
Durian.
I don't think it's banned.
But it is controversial.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
Headphones.
I'm ready. You unplugged my headphones.
I didn't unplug them.
You bastard.
I ripped them out and threw them on the... I was like, who's talking behind me? It's me.
It's me talking to myself.
Hey Majors, so I'd like to start off with a little biology lesson. When a species finds itself living on an island, it can start to evolve in strange ways based on the different pressures applied by the new environment. This is called island syndrome, and while it can manifest in a lot of ways, the biggest driving force is often a lack of predators. For example, the dodo lost its ability to fly since there was nothing to flee from. The saint killed a field mouse got twice as big since it no longer had to hide. And with no one around to bully them, the Sardinians started putting maggots in their cheese. Meet ChavezzSlovakia.
Do it, bro. It's the first one. It's the first one. But it's in my generation, we're old enough to say that now. The History Channel obsessed about this on the food channels.
Oh, and the what is it? Is History Channel, Food Channel, the Travel Channel.
The Travel Channel. Dude, it's actually a delicacy in these backwards countries.
Get out of my face.
Dude, really though.
Meet ChavezzSlovakia. Literal translation, rotten cheese. It's made by taking a perfectly good wheel of pecorino and letting a special type of fly lay eggs in it. The fly babies then work to partially digest the cheese, rendering it goopy and wet and maybe quite tasty and worm-filled. Now, cheese as a concept is already quite suspect. It's clotted milk that you fill with bacteria and mold and let sit for a while. But cheese is safe and delicious. Cheese is my friend. I trust cheese. So my guard would be down around ChavezzSlovakia.
Oh, no.
I've learned to look past a cheese's childhood. Strange upbringings are what give them their character. But it turns out, those maggots are still alive. And if you don't chew well enough, they can cause enteric myiasis, which is a fancy term for fly larvae living in your intestines.
Yeah, I'm about to say, they don't die to stomach acid, so they wiggle around in your tum-tum.
I thought the maggots died in the cheese.
Yum, yum in your tum-tum.
I thought you were eating dead maggot, which is like bad enough.
It's
right?
like you just
but they're live maggots.
You know that machine they sell on the on TV store that like wiggles your insides? You can just do that with maggot cheese.
They're having a party in your belly.
It's Osmosis Jones.
What if you have a baby in there and your baby gets used to like the maggots, and then when your baby comes out, he has like maggot powers and he can like summon maggots.
Babies aren't in your tummy. They're under your tummy.
I feel like that's close enough. And also whatever you eat goes to your baby.
Maggot baby.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. We're going to pretend like that didn't happen, and we're going to move on with the video. Just ignore us.
Symptoms are similar to food poisoning, except with the added psychic pain of knowing that, again, your bowels are full of squiggly new friends. It's for this reason that ChavezzSlovakia is banned in the EU and elsewhere. The black market still exists, which is wild, and it's not a small one. In 2019, the illicit ChavezzSlovakia trade was estimated to be worth 2 to 3 million euros annually. Personally, I would just do it prohibition style, like definitely don't put these fly eggs on this sumptuous wheel of pecorino. But if you do, you absolutely shouldn't keep it warm and damp for a week. But although it's traditional to leave the larvae alive when you eat your mag and cheese, some consumers still prefer them dead, shockingly. In that case, one puts the cheese in a sealed bag, and when the maggots run out of oxygen, they writhe around and fling themselves all over the place. This is heard as a distinct pitter-patter against the walls of the bag, and when the sound stops, the contents are ready to eat.
Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you hear how that sounds incredibly fake, and you are tempted to Google? That does not sound real. That sounds like he made that up. Like he's popping popcorn with maggots.
I'm so upset right now.
I don't trust that. Just because you can tell me that with the straightest face, I will not believe you. I have to look it up later.
I'm definitely pulling this information out at a party.
I'm consulting myself with it later. Did I agree with me? Thank you, me. Back to us. Sorry about that. You had to be there for that.
That's fine.
like popcorn. Shark fin soup is one most of us have heard about already, mostly in reference to its effect on shark populations and the wastefulness that goes into making it. Until recently, though, I never looked into the nature of the dish itself. I figured, right, the fins are just the only part of the shark worth eating. Big whoop, it's probably not much different from, like, swordfish. Apparently, though, I had it backwards.
Yeah.
Shark fins aren't even meat.
Yeah,
they're made
cartilage.
almost entirely of cartilage and collagen. They are the last part we should be eating. That's why it's only made into soup, because without being soaked in broth, it has zero flavor or nutritional value on its own. Their only redeeming quality is their unique mouthfeel due to how stringily the collagen grows, in structures called ceratotrichia. The texture has been described as somewhere between chewy and crunchy, which I find
that does not sound good in a soup.
That's awful. Also, I really hate the term mouthfeel.
You don't like mouthfeel?
It's something that, like, you come across in, like, the restaurant world.
Yeah.
I hate it.
What's wrong with mouthfeel?
I don't know. It's
like a really aggressive. It's like a really aggressive French kiss.
Just say the texture.
You're not going to react to the French kiss statement?
No, because you're being gross.
I'm not being gross. I'm being serious. It's the same thing. Aggressive French kissing.
I just feel like they could just say texture and not
you
mouthfeel.
like face kisses. What's the difference?
I like face kisses, but if you said when you were kissing me, oh, I love the mouthfeel of this, that would be gross.
A little bit creepy.
Yeah.
Ceratotrichia. The texture has been described as somewhere between chewy and crunchy, which I find describes most things, actually. Other adjectives present on Wikipedia include snappy, gelatinous, and sinewy. The exact sensation of eating this substance remains a mystery to me, and the unintended side effect of all this research is that I now really want to try it. Like, it's a big trade. I've got to be the one that's wrong. There is imitation shark fin soup available, but I've already decided that it's not nearly as good. So I've come up with a compromise in this controversy. Everyone on Earth gets just one bite. Say there's 10 bites to a fin, 4 fins to a shark, 200 million sharks die, sure, a necessary casualty, but then we can end the practice forever. All done. You can finally rest, Mr. Ming. Come here, baby. Aw. Ackee.
What is your relation to Yao Ming? What do you know? What do you know about Yao Ming? Give me 2 Yao Ming facts.
He's tall.
Okay.
And he plays basketball for the Rockets.
I am actually incredibly surprised that you came up with those 2 things in such a snappy time frame.
It's in the picture.
How did you know he was tall, though? This is just a picture.
Oh, I've heard about him being tall before.
So that's what
End
I'm
the practice
saying.
forever. All done. Where? I rest, Mr. Ming. Come here, baby. Aw. Ackee. What? Ackee. Where? Ackee. The ackee is a fruit originally from West Africa.
Yes.
I was like, I don't get the joke. And then I was like, oh, he's making fun of ackee. I get it. I get it.
What? Ackee. Where? Ackee. The ackee is a fruit originally from West Africa, which is most commonly associated with Jamaican cuisine, where it appears in such dishes as ackee and saltfish. These alien kidneys here are called the arils, and they're the only part of the fruit that's actually eaten. The flavor is on the savory side, being described as kind of nutty or bean-like. What makes the ackee controversial, though, is the effects it can cause when prepared improperly. If the arils are allowed to completely ripen, they're harmless, but if you eat them too early, or don't thoroughly clean off all the non-aril stuff, they can cause Jamaican vomiting sickness. This disease doesn't sound real. It sounds like it belongs next to Eastern sweats and Tangerian bone grindings, but that's actually an official term, and as for symptoms, it does what it says on the tin. Plus maybe death. While ackee-based products aren't outright illegal in the United States, they are very tightly regulated, and the raw fruit itself cannot be imported. So if you're American and want to try it, your options are fully cooked canned ackee or going to Florida where a few people grow it domestically. Next we have bird's nest soup. This is another one that I've vaguely heard of, and for years I just assumed the name was a playful metaphor like ants on a log or shit on a shingle. Turns out, nope, this dish...
What the fuck is shit on a shingle?
That's some Delaware shit right
there.
It
does actually sound like a very Delawarean...
And it's like a bunch of meat ground up, but it's not sausage, it's the other thing.
Yeah,
What's it
the
called?
ground meat thing with the mashed potatoes.
No.
No, it was and they flattened it.
Yeah, it's all flat.
It's a flat, hard ground meat mixture. Yeah, but I kind of like that.
It started with an S. I keep thinking spackle, but I don't think
it's not spackle, but it's like this hard, and it's like,
I thought it was like sausage. So.
Right, yeah, and if you cook it really thin and hard or whatever, we'll look it up. It's on screen.
I thought it was tasty, but that's also Delaware shit.
It's like the hot dog of breakfast food.
Yeah, yeah, but that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So shit on a shingle and whatever that stuff is. Delaware shit.
The name was a playful metaphor, like ants on a log or shit on a shingle. Turns out, nope, this dish contains an actual bird nest. Not like a pile of twigs like I was picturing, but rather a specific type of nest only made by certain species of swiftlets. These nests are mostly made out of mucins, which are a set of proteins that, among other things, serve to thicken all those wonderful secretions our bodies make. There's a little bit in human saliva, a little bit more in mucus, and in swiftlet saliva, look out, pal. So all the swiftlet does is it finds a nice wall, starts laying out fat strings of slobber, which dry, and eventually she's got a nice place to roost. That is, right up until some gourmand says,
today I crave bird spit. You can keep the eggs, though.
And they then reconstitute it back into its original gelatinous texture. Unfortunately, these nests can't enter the US, since, believe it or not, eating bird saliva is a great way to catch bird flu. And now the time has come
You're just gonna move past that?
He said, and
We're
moving
just gonna
on.
move on?
Guys.
Y'all are... who is... You know what? I understand that some things are cultural. And...
yeah, we should respect them and love them.
Right. I don't want to be culturally insensitive.
Right.
So rather than say that what I think, what I'm going to say is do not ever offer it to me in your life. Ever. Okay? You eat what you like.
Okay.
You eat what you want. You eat
Right.
whatever your ancestors tell you to do. You keep that shit away from me.
Unlike my wife, I will not be sensitive like a titty. You bring that shit around me, it's violent. It's violence. I was going to follow up on that, but I can't. It's too sexual as a joke. But imagine what comes next after that.
Oh, Lord.
All right? That shit out of my face. I don't want to try it, but I do want to see someone eat it.
Oh, we could definitely find a video of that.
Like, I want to
For
see what it looks like.
He just showed us what it looks like.
But in, like, a picture form. Like, I want to see something eating the soup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like egg drop soup, but worse.
But it's because egg drop soup is what this looks like it would feel like to me. If I imagine eating egg drop soup, I get sick. But then when I eat it, I'm like, this is delicious.
Right.
It's incredible.
Until it cools down even slightly.
And then it tastes like what I feel like this is like all the time.
Yep.
Great way to catch bird flu. And now the time has come to speak of the ortolan. The ortolan is a kind of bunting, which is a sort of passerine, which is a type of bird.
Okay.
They're birds. Like many animals, they have a long history of being eaten by the French. But what separates the ortolan from your average squab or pheasant is the unique way in which it is prepared and eaten. They're typically caught with nets and kept in the dark, which causes them to overeat for some reason. Once it's about twice as fat, the entire bird is then thrown into a container of brandy, alive, and sealed in. While this serves to marinate the creature, it also drowns in the process, thereby killing one bird with no stones. The ortolan is then roasted, plucked, and presented whole to the consumer, who inserts the carcass into their mouth, feet first. As they chew, one hand continues holding the bird's head, while the other picks out the larger bones. This whole ritual is usually performed with a towel or large napkin over one's head. There's a few explanations for the purpose of the towel. Some say it's just there to keep the aromas in, while others say it's there to, quote, shield from God's eyes the shame of such a decadent and disgraceful act. Yeah, this one I'm okay with not trying, actually. Notable fans of this dish include, not joking, Bill Cosby and the guy who invented the lobotomy. To be part of that social club.
That makes sense in a weird, you don't even have to think about it that much kind of way.
Yeah.
That makes sense to the kind of people who like, those people are insane. Lobotomy is one of the craziest things making its way back into pop culture references. And a lot of people were defending it. And I saw these like jokingly like things. And then I got to see the satisfaction of a TikTok follow-up being like, hey man, didn't know what a lobotomy was in reality.
Right.
But it's brain scrambled eggs.
Yep.
I don't know why they never told you the facts.
Yeah, I don't know what y'all thought it was.
Pseudoscience was messed up back in the day.
Also, that I was gonna say, I feel like people also think that lobotomies were much more exact than they were. They're like, oh, they targeted the specific part in your brain.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
No, they didn't.
You said that, but no one told you that because that's not what they said they did.
Yeah.
They tell you the procedure. It's not an exact procedure. They just did it.
Can we also talk about this drawing of Bill Cosby?
He fucking crushed it. He nailed it. It's not even racial. It's just bad.
Why is he white?
He's a...
You can't just go around asking people why they're white. But like, why is he like?
Why is... That's not even what I was thinking about the proportions.
In hindsight, no, Salmonella's drawn black people before.
Yeah. He said the N-word before. He knows who we are. So yeah, he doesn't know who black people are. All right, play it.
Our mission is to eat birds whole and then make people not remember things. Killing ortolans was banned across the EU in 2007. Not for any ethical reason, but because French people did this so much that the entire ortolan population was threatened. Thankfully, as of 2018, their conservation status is under least concern, so hopefully the French can get back to it soon. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Till next time, I'm Salmonella, and thank you for watching.
You know, you guys could learn, man. Oh, look, my concern here, just real quick, is that he can walk the line consistently between highly concerning content and educational content, you know? But why do you have to drown the bird alive?
Yeah, why is it alive? But also, why were so many people eating it?
I mean, it was like a fad. I could see it being a fad. Or when they started.
Why were so many people eating it that the birds became endangered?
I'm just saying, it's just like pizza. Imagine if pizza was a type of bird. We'd be tearing that shit up.
I don't think those
little flying little saucer pizzas.
I don't know. That shit's crazy though.
Oh man. Well,
French people are wild.
Any foods on here you thought would be here that didn't make it to the list? You've seen the traveling thing, right?
No, everything that was on here made sense to me. And I can't think of any other controversy. I did think he said banned, and I definitely thought he was going to get into how stupid like the U.S. banning thing is. You know, in regards to like dumb things that we can't have here.
Right.
But
you know, I thought we were going to be like more bug stuff, but I understand now watching his content though, it's not really his vibe. He wants real dishes that a lot of people consume and not just out of poverty, but like out of popularity. And why are we doing this? Right. So it fits the vibe. Hopefully he comes back sooner than later. We get lost without our father figure. I'll see you guys in the next vid. I'll see you downstairs for dinner.
Yeah.
Peace.
Bye.
My favorite salmonella moment is the first time I made the salmonella joke about salmonella.
Oh, God.
And it's been my favorite joke. I've made it every time, and there's always someone new that's seen me for the first time off salmonella.
Yeah.
And I say salmonella, and they hate it, and I love it.
Because it's a bad joke.
But like the interaction makes it a good joke.
We're here for Dead Body Hijinks.
By who?
By Sam O'Nella.
Salmonella Academy. That's right. We haven't been here for a while. So I'm excited.
Sam O'Nella.
Salmonella.
No, say it with me. Sam.
Sam.
O.
Al.
No. O.
Nilla.
No.
Salmonella.
Sam.
Here we go. Dead body hygiene.
That's like saying that my experience telling the Minneapolis joke is what makes the Minneapolis joke good.
I would say that would be the only way a psychopath could enjoy that joke.
Okay, I really liked when he was talking about the dogs with the smushed up faces. And he's like,
they sit there going,
because not only was it funny, but it was also incredibly accurate.
Right. There's a moment in one of the early videos where you can see me realize like, oh, this guy's serious. Like this stuff really happened. One time I can think of is that flood they had was like some kind of food flood.
Maple syrup
or
something?
Syrup flood.
I think so.
I've been in school for most of my life.
I never heard about it.
And no one's ever thought to bring that up.
Yeah.
What have I been wasting my time learning?
What I really like about Salmonella is that he's making people, including myself, aware of the state of Delaware. Which I refused to acknowledge for the longest time. I didn't do that on purpose, but...
How did you figure out he's from Delaware?
He talked about it. People actually live there. I still refuse to believe that Delaware is a real place.